What if the most dominant pitching rotation in baseball history just got even more dangerous? That is the question rocking the baseball world right now, because the rumors surrounding a potential blockbuster trade between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Pittsburgh Pirates are not going away. In fact, they are getting louder. Multiple analysts and insiders have now floated the same scenario, the Dodgers sending Roki Sasaki and Tanner Scott to Pittsburgh in exchange for Paul Skenes, the most electric young arm in all of baseball. And when you factor in what Shohei Ohtani has reportedly said about his teammate and fellow ace, the story becomes even more fascinating. Let's break this down from the beginning, because there is a lot to unpack here. Paul Skenes is 23 years old. He throws a fastball that sits at 99 miles per hour and touches 102. His splitter is borderline unhittable. In his rookie season with the Pirates in 2024, he posted a 1.96 ERA in 23 starts and was named the National League Rookie of the Year. He followed that up in 2025 with another dominant campaign, accumulating more wins above replacement than he had actual wins, a stat that underlines just how much he was carrying Pittsburgh's pitching staff essentially on his own. He has already been called the best pitcher on the planet by some analysts, and he is not even close to entering his prime years. Here is the problem for Pittsburgh. The Pirates have not made the playoffs in years. Skenes has made it clear, both in interviews and through his body language, that he wants to pitch for a winner. He grew up in Southern California. He went to college at LSU. He is one of the most marketable players in the sport. And with 4 years of club control remaining, right now, heading into his age 24 season, is when his trade value is at its absolute peak. That is where the Dodgers enter the conversation. Multiple proposals have surfaced across the baseball media landscape in recent weeks. Fansided's Christopher Klein was among the first to suggest that if Pittsburgh continues to underperform in 2026, the Pirates should seriously consider sending Skenes to Los Angeles in a package headlined by Roki Sasaki. He wrote that the Dodgers are the team best positioned to pique Pittsburgh's interest, and that Skenes pitching in Dodger blue feels almost like prophecy. Other analysts at Yahoo Sports and Dodgers Beat have echoed similar proposals, with some packages also including Tanner Scott, the hard-throwing left-handed reliever the Dodgers signed to a 4-year, $72 million deal before the 2025 season. Scott struggled last season, posting a 4.74 ERA with 10 blown saves, making him a player the Dodgers might be motivated to move if the right deal presented itself. Pittsburgh's lineup has long lacked left-handed power and bullpen depth, and Scott, even in a down year, still has elite velocity and the kind of electric arm that could anchor a rebuild. Now let's talk about Roki Sasaki, because this is where the story gets genuinely complicated. Sasaki is 23 years old. He arrived from Japan as one of the most hyped international pitching prospects in years. His 2025 regular season was inconsistent, posting a 4.46 ERA over 36 innings as he adjusted to the big league game. But in the playoffs, he was absolutely electric. Used out of the bullpen, he posted a 0.84 ERA with 6 strikeouts, a whip of just over 1.00, and 3 saves across 9 appearances. He was the kind of pitcher who thrived in the highest pressure situations, the type of arm you want on the mound when the World Series is on the line. And yet, with a rotation that features Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, and others, Sasaki projects as a 6th starter for the Dodgers heading into 2026. The Dodgers have so much pitching that one of their best young arms barely fits into the rotation. That reality is exactly what makes a trade possible. Bleacher Report's Zachary Reimer put it plainly, noting that the Dodgers are so deep that Sasaki, who was the #1 pitching prospect in all of baseball just a year ago, projects as their 6th starter, and that using him as a trade chip is arguably their best play just in the abstract. But here is where it gets deeply personal, and where Shohei Ohtani enters the picture. Ohtani and Sasaki share a bond that goes beyond baseball. They are countrymen. They have played together for Team Japan. Ohtani was one of the most vocal supporters of Sasaki choosing the Dodgers last offseason, and, by multiple accounts, his presence in Los Angeles was a significant factor in Sasaki's decision to sign with the team over other suitors. The two are close. And when reporters asked Ohtani earlier this spring about the trade rumors surrounding his young teammate, his response was notable for what it revealed. Ohtani said through his interpreter, in a quiet but firm tone, that Roki is a special pitcher and that anyone who has seen him in the playoffs knows what he is capable of. He added that he hopes whatever happens, Roki gets the opportunity to show the world what he can do. It was not a denial of the trade talk. It was not a statement of opposition. It was the kind of thoughtful, measured comment from a player who understands the business of baseball but clearly has a deep appreciation for his teammate and fellow Japanese ace. Dave Roberts, for his part, has remained characteristically careful in his public comments. He has said that the rotation heading into 2026 is a strength of the team, and that every player in it has earned their spot. But Roberts is also a manager who has never been afraid to adapt. He managed through years of injuries, roster shuffles, and mid-season trades, and he always found a way to keep the machine running. The bigger philosophical question here is one that gets to the heart of how the Dodgers think about roster construction. Andrew Friedman, the Dodgers president of baseball operations, set his stated goal for 2026 clearly earlier this offseason. He wants the Dodgers to be in a position where they do not need to buy at the trade deadline. He wants the roster built to win from day one, without needing to scramble in July. But acquiring Paul Skenes would not be a desperate deadline move. It would be a calculated, long-term decision to add a generational arm to a team that already has generational talent at every position. Think about what a rotation of Ohtani, Yamamoto, Skenes, Glasnow, and Snell would look like. That is not just the best rotation in baseball. That would arguably be the most loaded starting pitching staff ever assembled in the history of the sport. 5 elite arms, all at or near their peaks, all on the same team. The idea of opposing lineups facing that gauntlet for 7 games in the World Series is almost unfair to consider. Of course, the price would be steep. Several proposals have suggested packages that include not just Sasaki and Scott, but top prospects as well. And as one prediction market analysis noted, the Dodgers have every incentive to protect their pipeline of international talent. Trading Sasaki, a player who chose Los Angeles in part because of the organization's deep relationships in Japan, could send a complicated message to future international free agents. The cultural and business weight of that decision is not something Friedman would take lightly. But here is the counterargument. The Dodgers are trying to win now. They have won back-to-back World Series titles. They have Ohtani under contract through 2033. They have Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Yamamoto, and Kyle Tucker all locked up long-term. The window is not closing. It is wide open. And in an era where one hot month from a young ace can flip a playoff series, adding Paul Skenes to this roster could be the move that turns a dynasty into something truly historic. The Pittsburgh Pirates are also in an interesting position. If they fail to compete in 2026, the pressure to trade Skenes will only intensify. He has made no secret of his desire to win. And as one analyst summarized perfectly, if Pittsburgh wants to upgrade its lineup without breaking the bank, trading Skenes would net them a potentially historic return package. A haul headlined by Sasaki, who is still just 23 years old with sky-high upside, plus a proven big league reliever in Scott, plus additional prospects, could genuinely accelerate Pittsburgh's rebuild and give their fans something to believe in again. So where does this leave us? The trade has not happened. No deal has been announced. But the baseball world is watching closely, and the logic of both sides is real. For Pittsburgh, moving Skenes now maximizes his value and restarts the rebuild. For the Dodgers, adding Skenes locks in a championship window that could last for the better part of a decade. And for Shohei Ohtani, the man who anchors all of it, the situation is one he is clearly watching with great care. His comments were not loud. They were not dramatic. But they were revealing. A player who speaks carefully, choosing his words around a trade rumor involving one of his closest teammates, says everything you need to know about how seriously this is being taken inside the walls of Dodger Stadium. The baseball world is holding its breath. And somewhere in Los Angeles, in a clubhouse built on stars and discipline and championship expectations, Roki Sasaki is preparing for a season that may look very different from what anyone expected. That is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with the biggest Dodgers fan or Pirates fan you know. See you in the next one.